it's Lizzie. So this is another Myers-Briggs video, and today I'm talking about INTJ.
We're fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for our lives. Won't you let me see the world behind your eyes?
My family is very INTJ focused. My dad is an INTJ. My mom is an ENTJ, but she's kind of half introvert, half extrovert, so she's basically an INTJ. My sister is an INFJ, and my sister is kind of in between F and T. But my dad especially is just the most classic INTJ, and I feel like of everyone in the world, my dad understands me the most. And a lot of people misunderstand INTJs because they don't know them, and probably because INTJs that you know don't respect you enough to be their full authentic selves. Because a lot of stereotypes of INTJ is that they're like robots and they don't have emotions, and that's so wrong because INTJs get so excited and passionate and intense when they're talking to you, and they're very, very emotional. Like, they feel things so intensely, and I think that just because they're not expressing themselves in a touchy-feely type way doesn't mean that they don't have emotions. I'm gonna talk a lot about the functions in this video. I know that in my ISTP video I didn't as much, so if you have not heard of the functions, what I mean is introverted sensing, extroverted sensing, introverted intuition, extroverted intuition, and then introverted extroverted feeling and thinking. So there are 8 functions, and I'm gonna link below 2 different articles talking about the functions if you're confused and have never heard of them. So INTJs are really, really bad with emotions in regards to other people. So like, they're very emotional, but when it comes to giving emotional support, they don't have extroverted feeling. Their introverted feeling is a really low function, and so I think that it can be really frustrating for an INTJ in a relationship situation. Like, I know with my dad and I have all my mental illness stuff going on, and I've just experienced some conversations I've had with my dad. It's like, I can see like he's thinking and thinking and thinking and feeling, but not putting it into words. And that's just what introverted feeling is. I have it as well, where I can't put what I'm thinking into words. I can't put my emotions into words. I understand my emotions for myself. I analyze and I journal and I feel so strongly, but introverted feelers, we just don't need other people. We don't need to be constantly talking to other people, expressing ourselves to understand ourselves and how we feel. Extroverted feelers just always want to be around people, and introverted feelers, we deal with our emotions by ourselves. And so what I found with my dad and my mom is that if we're talking about something really emotionally tumultuous, it's better if we just write a letter to each other. My dad and I are so similar in that we'll always be journaling down our ideas, and it's introverted feeling, which is both of our like lower function, and we feel so strongly, but we just cannot put it into words. And so I think that as an INTJ, this is another reason why they can be really unhappy. They can feel something so strongly, but just not say it, and not know how to say it or know how to express it. But they do really well in relationships though, because they can commit and they see it as an obligation. My dad and my mom, because they have all of the exact same functions in about the same order, ENTJs and INTJs make the best relationship, like the healthiest relationship, because they just talk about ideas all the time. They don't have this like touchy-feely, like romantic type thing going on. Instead, it's just like they fundamentally respect each other and are best friends and love discussing ideas. That's an INTJ-ENTJ relationship. And my dad is very sentimental in some ways, not in an extroverted feeling type way, but he'll always get my mom flowers on Valentine's Day and their anniversary, and he's really good at picking out presents for people. But for him, it's not like an emotional thing. And as an INTJ, it's hilarious. He'll get presents like 6 months in advance for the next holiday, and he'll even get the card way in advance, write the card in advance sometimes, just because they're so future oriented. But something just with my dad is that after church, he'll immediately go out to the car and just sit in the car by himself and wait for all of us, like my mom, my sister, and I, to talk to everyone. He just doesn't want to talk to anyone because it's really draining. And I was talking about this video with my parents, how I'm gonna make it, and they really wanted me to put this story in it. So my dad was in London as the study abroad professor for his university, and he was visiting a church just for one Sunday. And it was a small church. At the end of the service, one of the women was like, "Hey, you're a guest. So guests are supposed to go into this room to meet everyone." And he just walked building. And he like looked back to make sure like she wasn't gonna follow him. But it's just so funny. Like they don't want to meet people who they're never gonna see again because they see it as so pointless. My dad said that his worst nightmare is being at a convention for just a weekend and having to meet a ton of people who he's never going to see ever again. And this kind of connects back to the whole like thinking about the future thing. For INTJs, they don't get anything out of socializing just to socialize. They don't like talking to people just to talk to people. So for them, they hate small talk the absolute most, probably of any type. They hate small talk. They love talking to people though. Like they can have a one-on-one conversation about something really in depth for like an hour. And if my dad needs to help out a student, he'll go above and beyond and invest so much time in helping them and talking to them and mentoring them. But when it comes to people who you don't know very well, they just cannot do superficial conversations. It's just incredibly draining to them. And so even though I'm an extrovert, because I'm also an introverted feeler, I don't like talking to acquaintances. I like having a few really close friends and not having to go around saying hi to everyone. ENFJs and ESTPs are extroverted feelers, and so if you're walking around with one of them, like in a public place, like at school, they will say hi to everyone, and that's just something that I don't like doing. But INTJs, when they get to know you, are just extremely emotionally open, and they will share a lot of stories about their lives. And that's the thing that I guess I want you to know about INTJs, is that they love people. Like my parents were missionaries, and my dad is a professor, and he teaches Bible classes at church because he loves people. He loves helping people and giving them information and knowledge and helping them grow. And I think that an INTJ in your life will just lead to you flourishing so much. They have this creativity and this intellectualism, and it's absolutely amazing. And I think that if you know an INTJ on a deep level, you're really, really lucky, just because they don't share themselves with everyone because they have a limited amount of energy and they're only going to share that with certain people who they really care about. But when an INTJ does care about you, it's 100%. So that was everything for my INTJ video. Make sure to watch my other Myers-Briggs videos in the playlist in the description, and I love you guys so much. Bye!